hopefully not too much was lost. Hopefully we can still connect back to this. Match. If the lead client is merciful, I can reconnect. It looks like it. At least I'll get to see the client. I'll have to load in-game, though. And hopefully the game doesn't boot me out a few minutes before the match actually ends. Or at least a few minutes before we get to see the end of the match. That would be lame. So far, loading back in. And I'll have to spectate my players. Oop. If the client will let me. We will see this match. Oh, we are seeing the match, but it's not full screen. Interesting. I've never had this happen before. Ah, yes. All right. Looks like we do get to see full screen. All right. The players will have to bear with a little bit more delay than normal when it comes to me responding to their messages. And so we are back. Looks like both teams are dancing, but I sense a bit of unease in the air. This isn't true peacetime. This is more like an armistice. There will be fighting in the future. Of course, an ARAM. It certainly is fun to feed the poros. Strategically, poros, feeding a poro prevents them from walking into a bush to reveal you. Other than that, there's no other gameplay benefit. Although you could argue that's a pretty major gameplay benefit. Right now the frogs have gotten the first shove, and all 10 players have hit level 4. Cho'Gath remains in this bush, and he throws a knock-up onto the wave, which reveals Neeko, who gets snared again, and she loses about 45% of her HP, and has a snowball tagged on top of her, but she does retreat back to turret. First health packs have spawned. Darius is looking to walk up and grab it, perhaps. Ooh, Neeko gets a sneak engage, and some people get CC'd. GoblinWaltz gets pulled into the team. Darius gets silenced, and he loses most of his HP. He might be the first to fall, but who knows in ARAM. Lots of poke coming out from the Ezreal, and same with the Fiora, who gets a sneaky dash in. Both teams not doing a whole ton of confrontation, as admittedly it's harder to force things with the champions that both teams have locked in. Maybe things will change when we hit level 6 and the game becomes a slaughterfest. Yep. So far it's been the same formula. Neeko gets caught and first blood goes over to Ezreal. Neeko is trying to do a sneak engage, it looks like, but if you count the minions, then you'll always find the Neeko each time. Darius manages to pull the Sejuani under turret. Sejuani gets pelted by a turret shot, and same goes the Fiora, who has to escape, and Syndra also has to flash away. We got some damage, but not necessarily what Vibing need in order to make out of this. Nico gets caught once again trying to pull a fast one. Hero goes in and spins on them. Darius also goes in and spins on them and pulls the Cho'Gath. Robes eventually gets the kill on the GreenPizza, but Ezreal ease away and double kill goes over to Garen, who last hits the Cho'Gath. Vibing have members who have hit level 6. Meanwhile, the Frogs have gotten their first member level 6, Syndra. Syndra's ult at this stage does not execute just yet. Nico gets super low. And there's meanwhile another engage, this time onto Spore Frog, and Hero is on a killing spree as he lands the ults onto the Fiora. Robes is also on a killing spree, and Shutdown goes over to Syndra. Nico buffers an ult, but it ultimately fizzles. Meanwhile, Bowie throws down the Victor ult, and that catches a kill onto GeneticIvy's Cho'Gath. A Syndra stun comes out and hits Victor at just about max range for that combo. The Frogs keep up the assault, and they do have the momentum, including this very big minion wave of 6 casters. Both teams are pretty capable of sticking on top of each other and hitting the minion waves. And so the game does involve a lot of wave clear. Nico gets spotted out from within the minion wave, and Renata pushes away the Fiora from out of the bush. Nico lands a root engage onto Sejuani, and that's followed up by a pull by Darius and a takedown by Garen. But again, this early part of the game is not looking extremely fast by ARAM standards. We're 6-6 right now, just over 1 kill per minute for both teams. And so far, neither team can get a whole lot of damage onto turrets. It's pretty early in the game. We see a lot of poke coming out from the Ezreal. And we're seeing a lot of these roots come out from the Nico. Garen dives in, and no one can peel him away. He gets the kill onto Sejuani, and Renata follows it up with an ult. Darius also follows up with an ult. He gets a takedown onto Sejuani. Double kill goes over to the Garen, and Renata pulls in the Cho'Gath looking for another kill. He retreats back to his turret, and Vibing now have the push for the first time in this game. Cho'Gath and Ezreal playing pretty defensively, making sure their buddies get back in time so that they can fight. And GreyMercury gets the burst damage off and kills Caffeinated Cat's Nico. Garen goes for a bush play, gets an ult onto the Ezreal, but he manages to survive. And GreyMercury gets the kill onto GreenPizza. The tides have quickly turned, and Frogs once again have momentum, as they did for most of this game. Renata stuck defending the turret, but the Frogs have all 5 members on top of it. Nico gets a 3-person knockup with the ult, but ultimately it is not enough, as the Frogs get the first turret kill at 6 minutes 52 seconds into the game. Enchanter CEO is forced to run away as Fiora continues running towards them. Hero has slain Spore Frog, and now GreenPizza is coming in for a retaliation play. Garen is maybe just fast enough, and Darius causes Sejuani to bleed to death and give Vibing another kill in this game. 11-11, even in kills, but down 1,000 gold, and with the Frogs having an advantage of 1 turret in this match. The Ezreal ult manages to catch 2 people, plus 1 more if you include the Nico clone. And Cho'Gath gets a little feast onto that soldier minion. Nico gets another root but pays for it with her life. Darius gets retaliation play, but he is silenced. Meanwhile, Renata lands a huge ult, and Victor is hitting 2 people at the same time with his own ult, and secures it firmly onto the Ezreal. But GoblinWaltz comes in and forces the Victor to flash. Robes is on a rampage, and then the shutdown goes over to the Victor. Slowly scaling in this game. Victor right now, 27 stacks on his Glorious Evolution passive. Darius is going in for an engage. He has received the bailout from Renata. The bailout looks like it has worn off, and he gets a kill on the GoblinWaltz Sejuani. Vibing now have the momentum as the Frogs have lost their Sejuani, one of their frontliners. GeneticIvy remains very healthy on that Cho'Gath, and he throws down a knockup, but it ultimately misses, and he's cut off from the rest of the team. Can he survive and escape? There isn't a whole lot of damage coming from his buddies, and Caffeinated Queen throws down the ult, which forces out the Arcane Shift from Ezreal. Syndra is rooted, and Victor gets the kill with his laser. Now level 9s, level 10s on both sides of the lobby. Auto attack comes off onto Frog's turret, and Darius's pull lands onto the Sejuani again. So far, whole lot of damage and tankiness from the Sejuani. Robes ultimately falls as he bleeds to death to the Darius. Bui's on a killing spree. He's he survives while Renata is taken down, and now Caffeinated Queen has taken down the Cho'Gath. And now the Control Mage Syndra is left to defend the wave. Hero activates the Garen W and survives with that shielding. And now Red Turret has been destroyed. And Vibing get to pick up the Frogs' inner health pack. And then Darius seems to be looking for an execute, and he gets taken down alongside the Garen. This might be a total wipe in favor of the Frogs. And they managed to kill all 4 players who were standing in front of their turret. The Frogs now have the momentum, and they are pushing into the blue side of the map. Now afterwards, Enchanter CEO has returned, ready to defend the turret, and it seems like their buddies are coming in as well. Darius lands a pull onto the Fiora, and Garen makes sure the Fiora is taken down. Ezreal gets snagged by the Renata's hostile takeover, and it seems like he'll be able to escape, but Vibing's members are run pretty quickly, and GoblinWaltz gets taken down, so they don't have a Sejuani to peel away from the squishy carries. Darius gets a fully stacked passive onto the Syndra, gets another one onto the Ezreal, gets another one onto the Cho'Gath. Bui takes the kill, and now that is ace for Vibing. They too have wiped out their own opponents. 25-20 in favor of Vibing Tiamat at the moment. They are hitting the turret. They may be able to kill this turret, it seems. Yes. They have slain they have slain the inhib turret, and now the inhib is exposed. But at the same time, the cavalry is coming. GreyMercury gets pulled though. He gets hooked. He loses over half his HP, and he's bleeding now down to only a third of what his health bar once was. GoblinWaltz eats some poke, but that's fine if you're a Sejuani. And that's... Ooh, another big engage comes in. Darius gets some healing. Robes pops CaffinatedArtist before they are able to use the Nico ult. And now Cho'Gath continues pushing forward. Cho manages to chomp down on the Darius and add another feast stack for himself. The Frogs, with their momentum, push in, and Bui throws down the Victor ult, evades the Cho'Gath knockup and the snowball from Sejuani. And he continues clearing the wave. Hero also clears the way by spinning on top of it. Demacian Justice does not fall in time in order to kill GreyMercury, and they survive, allowing the Frogs to continue pushing. Meanwhile, Enchanter CEO gets enough damage to kill the Syndra, and Fiora also falls. Ezreal's left alone against the 4 members of Vibing Tiamat, pushing forward now that they have the momentum. Some ults of note Demacian Justice, Noxian Guillotine, Hostile Takeover. Those are all ready. And Renata is daring to 1v1 the Ezreal, who is winning out in the damage fight. Darius comes in after landing the ult, landing the snowball, and it looks like Ezreal will bleed to death. And GreenPizza has slain Robes and gets 2 kills. Gets 2 people with the Q. A lot of people are getting smacked around by the AoE ults of Vibing right now, but same goes for the Frogs, who land multiple of their spells, and Demacian Justice does fall this time and executes the Cho'Gath. Vibing are now poised to kill the Inhib, which they have just done now. GreyMercury gets poked down and now burns to the double burn mage item build of Victor. Hero has slain GreyMercury, and Hero is slain in turn by Robes. Bowie gets caught by the surviving members, by the respawn members of the Frogs, and now the Frogs are on the push. Their opponents, 17 seconds to respawn, 20 seconds to respawn. That's a pretty long time, and even pushing against cannon minions when you have a Syndra and a Sejuani who can push minions away. It might not be as hard as it sounds. Sejuani lands a killer Ice Bola onto the Renata, but nothing comes of it as of yet. Nico throws some spells. Darius gets another hook in. He lands the E onto Sejuani yet again. Calf throws out an E, but does not snag anyone with it this time around. And now the game seems to be in a pretty unstable position, as both teams can explode at any time. Vibing have the inhib, but at the same time the Frogs have the momentum as they are further pushed up on the map. And this is still a pretty even game overall. Cho'Gath is bouncing back and forth. Sejuani is also bouncing back and forth. We'll see which team's engage lands first. Now we have a little stare down between the two teams. You have the 5 here and the 5 here. Enchanter CEO's Guardian gets popped. And Syndra lands a stun. CaffinatedArtist gets caught. The hostile takeover only hits one person. And Sporefrog leads the charge as Sejuani follows and Cho'Gath also flanks. Sejuani ultimately falls to Demacian Justice. Cho'Gath silences. GreenPizza closes the gap onto the Syndra but misses the Q. It doesn't seem like he'll be able to catch up to the Syndra. Perhaps onto the Ezreal. Cho'Gath is looking pretty low. Bowie takes the kill onto GeneticIvy's Cho'Gath. And now the Victor pushes forward level 16 with a fully upgraded Hex Core. Ready to push forward and clear the minions into the Frog's base. Vibing has succeeded in their defense of the siege, but now the Frogs have respawned and they're ready to kill. GreenPizza's the first one to fall. Sporefrog claims the kill. GreyMercury's looking low, and he gets killed in return by Victor. Mage versus Mage. Sporefrog goes in once again. The bailout does not save the Renata as no one falls in time. CaffinatedArtist gets snagged by the Ice Bowl, and double kill goes over to the Fiora. The Frogs once again have the momentum, and the 3 frontliners of the Frogs continue pushing as Victor and Garen remain to defend the base. Looking at the champion stats, Cho'Gath has 6,575 HP after chopping up that minion just now. Sejuani, in the meanwhile, has 4,466 HP. Victor has 302 AP, ability power. Garen has 225 AD. Darius has 243 AD. Fiora, 267 AD. Ezreal, 261 AD. These are pretty big numbers because people are completing their items. Everyone's got 2.5 to 3 items completed. And as this continues, we'll see everyone in late game. Assuming this game doesn't end real soon. We're at 17 minutes right now. And as long as the league client doesn't kick me out of this match before it's over, then we get to celebrate with a full match finally on stream. Snowball lands on the Cho'Gath, revealing his position, as Snowball grants sight of the person it hits. You can use this for champs who turn invisible but don't completely disappear from the map, like Akali or Kha'Zix. For champs who do disappear, though, like Master Yi or Zed, you cannot actually reveal them with Snowball. Alright, Enchanter CEO gets a Q onto the Sejuani and snags some people. Caffeinated Artist snags 2 people with her ult, and the hostile takeover is huge as it hits 4 people. Sporefrog gets low, he gets smacked, he gets killed. The Victor ult is pretty big right now, but Victor himself is not looking too healthy. 4 members of the Frogs are still alive compared to the only 2 of the Vibing Tiamat, and GreyMercury pushes forward. He flashes away despite the exhaust. He does survive, and now the Renata is alone to defend the entire base. And the Frogs walk up very healthy and ready to claim this turret. Oop. Syndra gets rooted by the Nico, but eventually gets a kill onto the attacker. GreyMercury has destroyed a blue inhibitor, and now the Frog's inhib has respawned. Meanwhile, Vibing's inhib has just died. Shutdown goes over to Garen. Syndra dies pretty late into the siege. She's pretty far away from her base. She might respawn in time. Fiora goes for a play. Bailout comes out, and hostile takeover also comes out twice in 1 life. Ultimately, Fiora gets taken down, and Garen gets chomped while Darius is ready to make his opponents bleed to death. But for the Ezreal, it might not be enough. And Cho'Gath eventually gets taken down by Victor's laser. Looking at both teams, kills pretty even. We've made it to a 20-minute ARAM. This is around the mean time in which ARAMs end. Somewhere in the 18 to 20 minute mark. I don't know the actual numbers. But from experience, that's how it seems. Lots of poke damage coming out from both sides. Ezreal's poke is extremely strong, and I believe his Q has 1200 range, which is slightly longer than a Thresh Hook. Ooh. Ezreal gets caught, possibly looking to execute, probably looking to execute. And now Vibing have a man advantage as they push forward into the base of the Frogs. Snowball lands onto Cho'Gath, and that's followed up by a giant Nico ult and a gianter Renata ult. The hostile takeover catches 5. The Garen ult doesn't quite get the kill, but Garen does get a kill ultimately. Cho'Gath is looking pretty big, but also almost dead, and he bleeds to death to Darius' passive. And now Darius is feeling very patriotic of Noxus as he applies his passive to different people. He's ready to dunk on them. I don't know if he has his ult quite yet. He gets another kill for his team, and Enchanter CEO snowballs in too. Darius gets healing with that Q, but Ezreal's ready to DPS, and he ultimately pops the bailout for Darius and causes him to die. It's now Ezreal versus Renata, and I'm not quite sure this matchup's in favor of the Enchanter support, and Robes gets a double kill for the Frogs, and makes sure that the Frogs' momentum remains. The Frogs still have their inhib after all, and Vibing doesn't. So, looking at pure numbers, the Frogs have the advantage in this moment. Looking at the items, Garen 4.5 items, Darius 4, Victor 4, Renata 4, and Nico 3.5 in the middle of building Zanyas. Ooh, Spore Frog throws a snowball, but it's caught by Nico's clone, who eventually disappears and gives him no dash target to go to. We're now at another standoff. Minions coming in, a super minion wave to be exact. Sejuani is attracting a lot of attention, and Cho'Gath takes advantage of this by walking in and forcing the flash. Renata gets a big hostile takeover, and Nico gets a big ult as well as the Pop Blossom catches 3. There's a fight on two fronts. Darius 1v2, Cho'Gath Fiora 2v3. GreenPizza has slain Robes, and it looks like he'll kill another. Bowie has slain Spore Frog, one trick. Double kill for Sejuani. GeneticIvy is the only person remaining. The Cho'Gath is the last person. He has 8,000 max HP, and Sarby cut down 3,000, T-minus 2,000, T-minus 1,000, T-minus 0. Ace for Bowie's victor. And Vibing now have the momentum as they are able to clear out the Super Minion wave and push forward. With the respawn timers being this long, Vibing may be able to claim an inhib, and so the Frogs will have to defend that and look for their next opportunity to strike and destroy that enemy inhib once more. Ezreal ult comes out to thin out the wave. Meanwhile, Renata stepping up super far against two squishy carries, and same does Caff, who, as we see now, the clone was low HP enough to be executed. And now I'm forced out of the match. Seems like Ryan Klein's not doing us any favors today. Oop, now we're back! Alright. 3 people from Vibing have just fallen. And now the Frogs are pushing forward, ready to take this inhib in the face of the Noxus Demacian melee duo. Garen's got a decent amount of wave clear. Is it enough to counter? Darius gets a big pull, and Ezreal gets an ult to thin out the wave again to weaken any counter push. GreenPizza is on a killing spree, and Hero has slain Rose with the Demacian Justice. Fiora gets a riposte, but the hostile takeover is crawling towards the Fiora, who auto-attacks her Sejuani to near death. GeneticIvy is pushing forward in order to pull Vibing members away, and GreenPizza is chasing the Boar Rider as she runs towards the base. Darius with the Deadman's is run pretty fast, but he misses the E, and so Sejuani lives to fight another day. Sedge has also got this very strong item, Warmogs. If you have at least 2,000 bonus health and not taking damage within 8 seconds, restore huge amount of HP per second. Pretty strong item in ARAM because you can't recall. She throws out the Glacial Prison, and it doesn't hit anyone. It's one less engage tool that the Frogs have, but they do have the territory advantage because this is their own base after all. They've got 2 turrets left, and they were able to kill an inhib. Alright, now, meantime, Enchanter CEO snags away Sejuani. The Frogs have a push. They got 2 super minions to shove for them. Super minions are very strong. You can see their HP total 4,800 and their AD 456. Super minions don't have any spells, which is one of the things that makes champions so strong. Ooh, Nico goes in for an engage, snags 2 people, one of which is the squishy Syndra, and Renata lands a 4-person hostile takeover, because how can you dodge that giant ult in this lane that's so compressed? Spore Frog 1-trick goes back in, and Sejuani, Cho'Gath are there to the front line. Robes gets pulled in, explosion, another explosion. The Victor ult gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The circle gets wider. Double kill for the Victor. Looks like a triple kill, perhaps. Double kill for Garen, and that is a 5. That is a 4. That is a 5-for-1 ace for Vibing. There are now no members left of the Frogs, no red health bars on my screen, no red team health bars on my screen, and it looks like Vibing will take game 2 and set the series 1-1. We'll confirm the turret kills with all the players, and I will certify who has won this series. Remember, in a 1-1 tie, the team with more turrets will get the win. And they'll advance! In a tournament of 4 teams, which is how much we have, there are only 3 matches, the 2 semifinal matches, and then the 1 grand finals. And on top of that, the tournament is scheduled within a 1-week span. 2 weekends next to each other. We have today's match. We have a likely match on Sunday between Vibing and another server. Between a different Vibing team and another server. And then we have the grand finals match, which is to be scheduled when we have the availabilities of all the players. And now I will take a water break and confirm the wins-loss with all the players. I'll also ask the players if they're interested in a change. Events like these are pretty hard to manage because they are 10 different people from likely different time zones and different countries trying to meet concurrently. So, in this little window, I'm going to contact the players. What would we like to do? It's situations like these where having the league client crash on you is really crippling because I made up that rule about turrets. I might change the rule about turrets at some point. I'm not too sure. But for the time being, I greatly appreciate my water breaks. Especially since at my workplace I have 9-hour shifts and I gotta space out my water. Alright. After speaking with the players to confirm the turret count, because we weren't able to see that ourselves in Game 1, Vibing took 1 turret in Game 1, the Frogs took 2 turrets in Game 2, and so the Frogs will win this match. They will advance to the Grand Finals. I don't know if the players are certainly in the mood for an interview, but we will see. I'll now join the Frogs and interview them. Howdy.
What's up?
Hey.
Howdy.
Let me tweak everyone's volume here. Yeah, how is it going? Congratulations on winning this series.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
All right. Well, I'll be direct with the interviews this time around. How much did you guys prepare?
None.
Some people
First
I,
pick
split.
Talon.
I played a couple ARAMs.
Okay.
I played more than a couple of
I think last
That many
week, like a week ago, Jenny and I played some ARAMs one night, and then
Gotcha.
just now we played the shortest AR game of all time.
Okay.
Listen,
I hadn't
we got to
played
do it
in
against
months before that.
with like 2 diamonds and masters player, and no one in our team was ranked. We got like rolled.
Hey, I'm ranked bronze 4, Jenny.
Oh, my apologies. I forgot. My bad.
All right.
Our bronze 4 person's gonna compete with them.
I do want to say that.
like,
I do want to say that we planned what we were going to do, which was we knew that Peel is really good in ARAM, and we were just gonna play double tanks.
Gotcha. So both games, you guys did draft double frontliners.
Yeah.
We have 2 dedicated tank players, so it makes sense.
It's honestly a little OP. They just got like that tank genetics in them.
We do.
We're
We're siblings.
Respectable.
Tank players.
Tank genetics,
I'm
well,
tank
that is
nerd.
one of my favorite champ classes, is tanks. So, yes.
And then I looked at everyone's OPGG.
Yeah, you were draft master.
Yeah, I did my normal soapbook drafting
Full
stuff.
investigation.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
personally planning on getting the fellas together and seeing if we're gonna play early. Then I helped one of my friends move into their new apartment for 4 hours straight. So that kind of took over.
That's tough. I mean, unfortunately, we did not manage to secure a first pick Talon this game.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, draft
Please.
coach kind of messed
Yeah,
up.
that's my fault. I never picked it. I take full responsibility for that game 2 loss. And we also have more secret strats, I think. But
We do. We have some funny strats.
I see. Yes.
Listen, no one's gonna expect the tank Azir next time. No one's gonna
No,
expect
it's
it.
banned, Jenny. I hate to tell you, we're banning that.
Oh!
It's for your own good. It's for your own good.
Okay, well, no one's gonna expect us to first pick Talon next game.
Well, now that you guys are saying this live on my stream, people might expect it.
Oh,
They
no,
expect
no,
it.
Listen.
All right. So now my next interview question, I'll also keep it simple, is who do you think was the MVP of the series overall? Both games. for prospect games.
GeneticIvy, and then GeneticIvy MVP our team. I'll call it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'd concur.
Listen, sometimes
I
you just
disagree.
eat your
I
rock.
think it's rogues. I'm
Yeah,
voting for
okay.
Rogues MVP
Rogues?
Rogues
personally.
gets a shout, but I think the tank play is too good.
Yeah. I wasn't as
I-
impactful second as I was the first, for sure.
Listen, I did the most damage in the second game, and also I
Yes.
malfighted in the first game. So
I
like,
gotta
I
play
at
devil's
least
advocate for
performed.
somebody.
Delivered some Oriana ultimates real good.
Listen, I would like to apologize to the person who locked in AP Varus. That is legitimately one of my least
Yeah.
favorite builds that exist in the game. So every time I R'd on top of him, I felt a bit of joy, just like spark in my soul, because I hate AP Varus.
A little extra lock-in for the virus.
Listen, I'm a Cho'Gath player at heart. I don't like having 6,000 HP deleted from a basic ability.
Yes.
Also, if the one ARAM we did in prep, or one of the 2 ARAMs we did in prep is anything, don't pick GP. Just don't do it.
Oh, people, for anyone watching this interview who we might play against next time, if you want me to hard dive your face, block a GP or AP Varus. I will make it my life
All right.
work.
All right. Well, I'm glad the MVP is in discussion because, it forces people to think, and I like that.
I know who the SVP is for the other team. I don't know. GreenPizza had my number.
GreenPizza.
Oh my god.
His
The fucking-
Darius was
Darius is popping.
Oh, mild shout out to as like a second SVP to Enchanter CEO.
Renata.
Oh, they had
Yeah,
The
so
Renata with
the-
ultis were so
the
good.
Renata.
Renata and Rel was very good, but
Those
Pizza
are two
was
champs in my pool that I love, and I wish were tankier so I could actually like commit to the plan and play them. Well, Rel's tanky enough. Not as tanky as Malphite or Cho'Gath. So I kind of. I love Rel and Renata collabs. Enchanter CEO, if you're listening, I love and adore you. Have a wonderful evening.
Nice. Nice stuff.
Yeah, honestly, shout out to all of them. They were really
Yeah.
great competition. It was very evenly matched. Like it didn't feel like we stomped them
Yeah,
really
no,
at
it
all.
was,
It was really,
it was too good.
it was a very
Really
close
solid.
match. Good game.
There was
They all
a
played
couple
really
of
well.
There was a couple of fights in the first one where I was really afraid that Aatrox was just gonna like just start running.
Nice.
Honestly, thank goodness you were able to snowball that first game and just only lose one turret.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ended up being the deciding factor in this series. And if it's a 1-to-1 series and the turrets are tied, then there is one secret backup measure I have to decide the series. But that didn't happen today, so we don't have to reveal
We'll
it.
reveal the secret when needed.
Yeah, we'll reveal the secret when it is needed.
The true
Like, when
secret:
it is there.
1v1 Yumi's only Howling Abyss. Good luck.
I'm good for 1v1s. We can walk in 1v1s, but you pick the person on the enemy team you want to play.
Yes.
Oh.
Nemesis draft.
Do like penalty kicks? Like you pick the person on the enemy team you want to face?
Yeah. And Jenny, will you help me prep my Halo Blades TK for the 1v1s?
Oh my god! I am not.
Alrighty. And then my last interview question is, do you guys expect to all be there in the finals? It's more of a
Should be.
scheduling thing, but, you know.
It's scheduling something,
Uh,
Do we need to
Schedule
play
permitting.
another game before finals?
Because of the size of the tournament, you guys will only play 2 series, the one from today,
Or... Okay,
and then
yeah,
the finals.
that's what I thought.
Then I would like us all to be there.
So it's a
Like,
bracket and not like a round robin.
Yeah, it's a bracket.
All right.
Yep. Round robins are super hard to schedule, especially when you have
Yeah.
5
no
people in
doubt.
each roster.
Yeah.
I have shivers from trying to do scheduling for TFT 44 format at the end of the run, right?
Oh god, that was disgusting. The
Oh.
time I had to sub in for that.
Do we know when this is going to be now?
no, I don't think we will. I think it'll be another availability thing coming out.
We'll find it.
We'll also have to like see who the opponent is, and then they'll schedule it.
Yeah.
Like that shit sucks. Thank you for doing it.
Yeah,
Scheduling
shout
is
out.
super hard, and I'm not new to scheduling these events. This is my 3rd tournament, and the other 2 tournaments, the first one had 5 teams, and then the second one had 8 teams. So I scheduled for 40 plus people, which includes their subs. And because that was a summoner, because those were Summoner's Rift tournaments, I had to match people by the roles as well. So
Oh,
Challenge.
yeah, that would be.
We did a draft for the first one, I think. Right? I don't remember. But
it
yeah.
was Summoner's Rift
those
draft
are-
pick for those tournaments. But it's been over 2 years, so.
Yeah, no, it's been legit forever.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys had fun today, and I will pass on the
Oh,
good
yeah.
news to your opponents as
Uh,
well.
Who are the other 2 teams?
Another team is known as Vibing Noon Quiver. That is the second team Vibing is sending because we're big enough for 2 rosters. And then there is a 3rd Discord server involved in this tournament. They'll also be sending their own roster, but there's no guarantee that... as with all things scheduling, there's no guarantee that everyone shows up, so you might have some gaps that will need substitutes to fill. And we'll just see how it goes.
I'd like to watch the game. If you're gonna stream again. Or if you
I'm
need
intending to
work on it,
stream.
okay.
I think the video quality was good for this stream. That's usually been the thing that plagues these events, but I think it was good this time around.
Great.
Well, anyways, I hope you guys
Yeah.
have a good rest of the night and a great weekend. So I'll see y'all.
You
Thank
too.
you,
you.
man.
Hey.
That concludes the end of today's matchup between the Frogs versus Vibing Tiamat. Pretty exciting and about as even as you can get these series, which is what I'm hoping for. To give a refresher, we have 4 teams in a single elimination bracket. We have these 2 today, and then we'll have 2 most likely playing this coming Sunday, January 26th, sometime around 6 p.m. Eastern Time Zone, EST. Once that series concludes, I will do the scheduling work for the 3rd and final match of the entire tournament, which will most likely happen in the weekend after this one. So the weekend starting with Friday, January 31st. I am happy that people are getting together to compete here, and I'm happy to cast. And I'll be there this coming Sunday. I'll see y'all.